Hi, and today I wanted to talk about forgiveness. And I think there's a lot of misconceptions around forgiveness, that it's weak or easy to, forgive and forget, or that it condones something that has happened. And I don't believe any of that is true. I think they're all misconceptions, and forgiveness is actually the first step in healing. It is the step that allows us to break free from past hurt and begin to heal and live in the present in love and in a place of love rather than suffering. And that doesn't mean that when we offer forgiveness, either to ourselves or to others, that we condone the actions or the thing that happened and that it was okay. It's not doing that at all. It is recognizing that for someone to enact that suffering, they have come from a place of profound suffering themselves for that to take place. And that's not sort of saying that that's okay. It's just recognizing that that's where it's come from. And in doing that, we can then allow ourselves to forgive. And forgiveness is an act for ourselves. It's not an act for others, in the sense of forgiveness allows ourselves to heal. And I think a really good example, and I'm going to put a link below to this great book by Jack Kornfield on forgiveness, Lovingkindness and Peace. And he uses a thought experiment of two prisoners of war. And the first asks the other, have you forgiven your captors yet? And the second says, no, never. And the first replies, well, then they're still holding you captive. And I think it's a great thought experiment of highlighting how the other people that have inflicted suffering, for example, and I think he also uses this analogy of they could, be on a beach somewhere and not be thinking about it, but that we are still carrying that hate. And when we're carrying that hate and that negative emotion and that suffering, we are being held captive still. It's still suffering within us. And so forgiveness is that first step of healing that allows us to begin to break free from that suffering and begin to heal. And another analogy that I think is really fitting is with the Buddha, and he talks of two arrows. And the first arrow is the event or thing that happened either by ourselves that we did to other people, or to ourselves, or what someone did to us. And it can be painful and it can hurt. And the second arrow is all the emotions and the hate and the anger and the narratives that mentally we carry around the first event. And these can continue for years and years and years, and perhaps far longer than the first event may have, held on to for. And this then carries that suffering within us for much longer and through our lives. And it perpetuates this suffering, and we carry it with us, and it drags the past into the present, and we live in this past state of suffering continuously. And forgiveness is that step by which we can break free from that and begin to heal and offer ourselves love. And Jack Kornfield offers some really good meditations on it, and the 3 stages. And the first stage is offering and asking for forgiveness from others. And then it is offering ourselves forgiveness, forgiving ourselves, offering ourselves self-love, that we are worthy of love, that we are forgiven, that we forgive ourselves and love ourselves. And then when we're ready to offer forgiveness to others. And this can be a profound challenge, and he says very clearly not to rush, and only when we're ready to begin this path to healing. But that forgiveness is the path to healing and peace, because without it, we continue to live in a place of hate and suffering, and it is perpetuated. And so forgiveness is for ourselves. It is an act to allow us to begin to heal. And so I hope this video can be useful in just offering this insight into forgiveness. And I'll put a link to his book, Jack Kornfield's book, below, and a few other resources as well. And hopefully that can help in the path of healing. And I'll see you guys all really soon.